Okay. In order for a University of Greenwich program to be approved in Vietnam, then there are a number of quality assurance procedures that the university needs to pass through. Essentially, the awards of any UK university are subject to the following the regulations of the UK's Quality Assurance Agency, which is a government body in the UK. Now that applies whether the award is made on the campus in the UK or if it's made anywhere else in the world. This is absolutely essential to ensure that students, wherever they are studying the UK award, can be absolutely confident that their award is of the same standard as if studied in the UK. Without that, then for the students there is little value in studying the award. So it's absolutely crucial that this happens, and all UK institutions, and the University of Greenwich included of course, will always ensure that these procedures are followed. There are really two main criteria. The first is to ensure that the quality of the award, the level of the award, is exactly the same as in the UK. This has to be verified through an approval process. So, for example, we would have to demonstrate that students who go onto the program in Vietnam are meeting the normal entry criteria for the program in the same way as they would be for the UK, so as to show this program is the correct standard, because we are admitting students who would be admitted in the UK. Secondly, we have to demonstrate that the curriculum that is being taught to the students is the same, or at least of exactly the same level as in the UK. And finally, very importantly, the program must be assessed in the same way as the UK. So the examinations and the courseworks that the students take should be at the same level as in the UK. In our case, they are exactly the same. We use the same assessments because we believe this keeps the programs very, very close to the UK standard. And of course, we have to ensure that the marking procedure is the same. So whilst the examinations and courseworks are marked locally and students can get feedback on their courseworks from their local tutors, which is extremely valuable, all this marking will be closely moderated by the UK course leaders, just to ensure that the standards are exactly the same. And if a student does a similar piece of work in the UK or in Hanoi, then it would receive the same grade. So this is the first point. The second point is that part of the quality assurance process, part of the approval process, would be to ensure that the student experience is directly comparable. Of course, it won't quite be the same, as I explained earlier. There are some things that are different. I mean, if you study in the UK, then you have a bit of a benefit in terms of the broader experience. You are studying overseas, you can expose yourself more to the international country that you're studying in, and you can gain benefits in that way. But it works in both ways. Students who are studying locally, of course, can gain a greater insight into the application of their degree to their local markets and economies, which is likely to be of great relevance to them. But leaving that to one side, in approving any sort of degree program in Vietnam or any other country, student experience would have to be comparable. So, for instance, we would need to confirm that the institution, in this case IIFE as part of the Academy of Finance, had lecturing staff who are able to deliver the program to our satisfaction. The normal criteria we use is, would we appoint these people to teach the same program in the UK? And in this case we would. The Academy of Finance staff are very, very highly qualified, very, very experienced in the financial markets, and they're staff that we'd be very pleased to appoint onto the UK programs. Secondly, resources. We have to ensure that students have access to textbooks, for example, to support their learning. And we have to ensure that they have access to all the other library resources, journal articles and so on. Now, normally we will do this through an extensive online library, and at IIFE, Academy of Finance, they ensure that the students have the access and the level of computer resources that they can access all these materials. Finally, of course, we have to ensure that there are the physical